if you could tell me if you have internal or external coaching, and if your rate is less than $100 for coaching, for external coaching. Okay, so Sandra, external at $50 an hour. Stacy, stay at $50 an hour. Nicole, both less than $100 an hour. Dorothy, less than 100. Okay, so far we got everybody less than 100. Okay. Let's see, do we have, I was waiting, internal at 100. Okay, Rebecca, this part might not be for you, but certainly you're welcome to listen. I'm going to go over the agenda and then we can talk about whatever you would like. Okay, so we're actually I have a phone call coming in, but I'm going to ignore it. Maybe. The costs of coaching, we want to make sure that they're included in Race to the Top and reimbursed through the GAE some way. So that's the first item on the agenda. Is there anything else that you all want to talk about besides that one item that we sent out? So again, you could either talk and let us know, or you can put it in the chat window. Or you can say, okay, that's enough. But I do want some feedback that that's okay. Can you show how to transfer coaching hours to pool? Yes, Sandra, I was hoping you would type something in so other people would. Transfer coaching hours into, let's see, to pool. We're going to add dollars to the awarded amounts to equal the original allocations. Okay. Okay, from discretionary. And we talked to Rick, but you can also show us how to coaching dollars to QI. Okay.
Rick, this is Stacy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Stay, as the case may be. Something I realized the other day is that when we are transferring from coaching to QI, the way it does it, it isn't increasing our coaching or QI budget as we make those transfers, and so we've ended up running out of dollars more quickly than we should have. And I'm not sure if that makes sense or if we need to talk it through more. But if I'm transferring QI dollars, 1,300 QI dollars, for instance, or $1,000 of QI into coaching, it seems that I also need to increase my coaching overall budget by $1,000 and decrease my QI by $1,000 so that it doesn't skew it.
Okay, I think I understand. Okay, budget changes. And maybe I'll need Bill to help explain, because I understand what you're talking about. So, well, when we get into it all, we'll talk about it in more detail.
Okay, thanks. And if we need to do that offline, away from this conversation, you know, just let me know.
Okay. Tiff, I don't know what one are, what you're trying to say. Oh, okay. The hedgehog went across the keyboard. Aw, we would like a video of that. Okay. All right. Okay. So what I'd like to do is ask you about coaching. How many have mileage? Actually, what other costs in coaching besides direct payment to the coach do you have? For external coaches? Okay, so Sandra has all costs wrapped into direct coaching hour. That's one set of people. So the coaching rate includes all direct coaching. Let's see, all includes all costs in coaching rate. Okay, so how many have it like Sandra? Okay, so Heather, is your professional development for coaches tied into your coaching rate? Okay. How about for mileage? How many of you have mileage tied into your coaching rate? Okay, so yes for Heather, not for Stacy or Stay, not for Dorothy. Okay, what other costs? Can anybody else think of anything else besides professional development and, hi Kathleen, yay, I'm glad you're here. Okay, we're talking about, Kathleen, about your coaching costs, what are included in your coaching rate. And we have, some people have their mileage in the coaching rate, and some do not. Most do not have professional development. Okay, and Stacy, are your funds for coaching supplies in your coaching rate? Okay, so Kathleen,
no, they're not.
Okay. Does not generally count as coaching. Okay. It just really depends on how you define coaching. Coaching supplies. Okay, so with the coaching rate, if everything is included in your coaching rate and it's still less than $100, then you're great. Yes, Stacy, I totally agree that we should have a directive and a general approach. So we are working with OEC to try to come up with better directives, but also, you know, within Jose and I and Bill, trying to train whatever communication we get as well. So right now, if you have your coaching rate including everything, you really don't have to do anything extra. But if you don't, then I'm going to show, essentially what you have to do is, as you're approving new applications from the GAE, I'm going to go to the funding stream. So I'm in Bill's test funding stream. So in the external coaching, if your rate, let's say, is $50 an hour, and then every hour that you get of external coaching, it puts $50 directly into the provider, but then another $50 comes into this pooled external coaching. So right now what's happened is that you know, as soon as you get enough hours, let's say you know, if it's 5 hours, so $250 here, and you try to approve another coaching, well, actually another application, it moves all this amount to the new provider rather than allowing you to use that $50. So does everybody understand that piece? That, you know, when you're using GAE, this pooled gets swept away whenever it's enough for a new application. Okay, Stacy understands? Because that's a fairly important point. Okay, Sharon. And it's not just coaching, it's QI dollars, etc. Okay, so the key is how do we capture that money so you can spend it on legitimate coaching expenses? So what you actually, because this is not editable by you guys, what we need to do is you have to create a ticket. So essentially what you're going to do is, you know, you may approve 1 or 2 GAE, and then you'll see your pooled amount go in here. And then what you need to do is say, okay, I want to take money out of the pooled amount, which means you would actually decrease your coaching budget, and we're going to put it into this other direct expenses tracked outside of sugar. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint, and I'm going to make a new slide. So if coaching costs not included in coaching rate, you create a ticket after you have some money in pooled external coaching. Okay, and so you'll have that ticket that you create, and you're going to tell, essentially Bill has to do this because it's locked down by everybody. You're going to say exactly how much you want for other costs from the pooled. So let's say you have, e.g., you have $400 in pooled. Okay, I want to take $200 out of pooled and put it into other direct expenses tracked outside of sugar. And it'd be good if you could say, you know, if you already have some money in there, so existing amount in other direct expenses is $400, so add $200 to make this $600. One of the things we have with tickets is that it's easy sometimes to misinterpret, and so the more detail you can put in this so we don't mess up the transfers, the better. So essentially, like, you're going to have to just sort of be adding to your pot, essentially taking money out of the direct external coaching budget and putting it back into this other direct expenses tracked outside of sugar. Okay, Kathleen, are you on the call? Okay, is this one of the things that you wanted to do?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. So okay. I'm going to actually have you, I'm going to have you share your screen. I know you're not comfortable with sugar, but if you don't mind, I will direct you so we can go through the whole steps with everybody. Does that sound okay?
Okay, Rick. Yeah, that sounds great, except I don't think it's going to work because I have not approved any of my MOUs off the wait list.
That's okay. We'll just pretend.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
Okay. So, I mean, we'll make, I just want it to go slow enough.
I'm fine with pretending. I'm fine with pretending, but what I really need help with is, you know, my actual people on the wait list. But, sure.
Okay. Well, does somebody actually have some pooled coaching dollars that they want to transfer now? Because that would be great if we have an actual an actual example that we could go through. Oh, Nicole does not. Go ahead and just say no so I know that you guys heard me. Okay. If I get 2 more no's, I'm going to go ahead and we'll have Kathleen do the pretend. Kathleen, I don't see you on the list. Are you under somebody else's name? Oh, there you are. Okay, I just couldn't read it. All right, so I'm changing the presenter to you. Could you go ahead and accept it? Okay, can you see Kathleen's screen? Oh, I can. It says waiting to view. Okay, but you should have gotten a text. I mean, not a text. A little pop-up window that says accept it. Okay, let me switch to Stacy. Would you mind being the presenter? Cool, thank you. Can you turn on, and we can make sure we can hear you too?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Stacy is our guinea pig. Let's everybody give her a hand for being our guinea pig. Woo! Thank you. Okay, so Stacy, the first step would be for you to go into your funding stream for Race to the Top. So go ahead and just explain what you're doing as you go. So, because we're recording this, and so people hear it as well as see it.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to go up to funding streams and then click on my Race to the Top funding stream here, and now where do you want me to go?
Okay, the first thing, can you make your screen a little bit bigger? So to the right of your edit, yep, click that double arrow. Okay, so on your external coaching detail, click and scroll to the bottom.
All the way?
Yep. Okay, so you have, why don't you tell us how much money you have, you're in your pool? No, not all the way, just to the pooled amount, sorry.
Okay, that's what I thought. So right now we have $2,534.32.
Okay, and we're going to pretend that you need some money. Just, you make up an amount that you're going to need for your mileage, professional development, anything that's legitimate expenses for the coaching.
Okay, well, I actually looking at the billing I'm working with right now, I actually need to transfer $55.26.
$65.26?
5526. 5526.
Oh, 5526, okay. So click on your Submit ECLA Support ticket.
So I am putting in my email, mileage funds from RTT pool is the subject. I need to transfer $55.26 from my RTT pool to expenses tracked outside of sugar. Is that right?
And let's be a little bit more specific. Let's say RTT external coaching pool.
Okay.
Okay. So current amount is and why don't we copy that 2, 3, whatever it was. So go back to your funding stream. 2534.
Okay.
Okay. Transfer amount, or put minus 5526. And then equals okay, and then let's go to your back to your funding stream. Okay, and click on scroll up. And click on your budget summary tab.
Oh, okay. So is it this one?
I can't see your...
Or is it...
Yeah, other direct expenses that tracked out. Okay, so copy that. Okay, and say other direct, yeah.
Other direct expenses total currently.
And add the
5526 equals 90,755, 90.
Okay, cool. And then yeah, let's go ahead and yeah, go ahead and finish the ticket.
What do you want this to be listed as, a
Does it have transfers? Yeah, transfer. Let's
Okay.
we could do, okay, and then you would go ahead and send it. Actually, go ahead in the subject up at the top, just say in big parentheses, you know, in capital letters, test, you know, both, and test only, do not do, or something like that. So we'll keep this as an example.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and then go ahead and click the send.
All right.
Okay. So the key in the future, I'm going to go ahead and take back the screen. Are there any questions? Just say no or yes if you have questions, and then Stacy, thank you so much for
You're welcome.
being our guinea pig. Okay, so Kathleen, you have a question?
I can't see your screen yet, just so you know.
Oh, my screen?
Right. It says
Friday.
It says Friday sugar support webinars. There it is.
How's that?
Yeah.
We have no.
Yeah. So my question is, you know, this is not in sugar yet. These are MOUs out for signing.
Right.
I have determined that all of our sites are going to need six hours of coaching. We're at $33 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got my external coaching dollars assigned at $198, and then I need to send a help ticket to ECLA or Bill, because I've also got on my spreadsheet here the mileage that I will be tracking outside of sugar.
Right.
So how do I get that coaching hour assigned to these providers?
Okay, so the default, when you're looking at the waitlisted requisition, how many hours do they currently have?
5.
5. Okay, so you'll have to add an hour for each one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would go in. Do you have one that we can look at?
Well, can you see my wait list? Can you see?
I'll go into your application.
Try Angie Frazier. Most of them are home providers.
I'm
so
sorry.
Angie is Angie, A-N-G-I-E.
Okay. Sorry, my screen a little slow. A-N-G-I-E.
And then her last name is Frazier, F-R-A-S-I-E-R.
Right here?
There she is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What I'm doing is I'm scrolling down to get to the application and see, we can see that it's out for signing?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I opened up the application and it actually says it's waiting for you to sign it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not signing. I don't want to sign anything until I know what I'm doing in sugar, since Bright Futures has struggled the last year to balance sugar with what we're actually billing the state. So that's why I'm here today.
I totally understand. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So I'm going.
These will skip the list until I figure it out.
Okay. So I'm going to the requisition, and we can see that there's the 5 hours that Kathleen was talking about. And we want to, I'm going to go look and right now and see if there's any money in your pooled for us to transfer. I'm doubting that we do because you haven't done anything yet. So I'm going to open link in the new window. How many do you have waitlisted, Kathleen?
I think 12.
12, okay.
6, 7,
Okay,
8,
you actually
9.
have $80 in your pooled.
Woo-hoo!
So, yay! So that, you actually, because your rate's only $33, you can do 2 hours. So let's go, I'm going to do one for you and then I'll have you do the other one. Does that sound okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if you all looked at, Kathleen has $80, and you can get pooled from either approving new GAEs or you can get pooled by, by forfeiting hours or transferring hours into pooled. So there's different ways.
Hey,
go ahead.
What is the number above that?
The number above it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that is how much you originally had in your pooled, and this is how much you have left.
Gotcha.
Okay, so there was 6,300 and it was transferred out to 6,290. But right now you have $80.
Okay.
Is the $80 earmarked for something else, or can we use it as one of the hours?
No, it might be. We've got some sites that just have a little bit of leftover coaching. I'm not sure.
Well, if they have leftover coaching, then that's, then you could always add that more into the pool.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you start approving this pooled amount, going through the GAE, and who's your QRS coordinator at OEC?
Emily.
Okay, so as soon as Emily starts approving these, then this amount will go up. And you have to be careful that it doesn't go up, to the 165 or whatever it is, because then it will go away right away. So as long as you're under the 5 hours worth, the 165, then you can grab the pooled amount and do something with it. Okay, so I'm going to go back into, this is the right one, Angie Fraser, that we want to do something with?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so on your requisition actions, so I'm going to click that action. Okay, oh, we got to wait because it's in the middle of approval. We can't do anything. So as soon as you see this on Easy Connect, we don't want to approve it. So if it's in the middle of a MOU, we can't do anything. So you'll see that the action isn't there to transfer funds.
Yeah,
so
because and that makes sense to me. I don't want to take from that pooled amount because that pooled amount, I want to wait and make sure I know what the process is and get my 12 people off the wait list by approving their MOU. And then I'm going to have well, 12 and then I'm going to start transferring $6 or 6 hours of coaching out at $33 an hour, and then writing a help ticket to a Sugar help ticket to get the mileage out to be tracked outside of Sugar.
Because I've already gone through
Right,
this
so
process.
we can't do it now.
Right. And I just want to make sure I have the process right before.
12 outstanding. I would not do all 12 at once.
Yeah, you're going to have
Okay.
to do them
I
one
would
at a
do,
time.
and that $80, yeah, get them so you get that pile, you know, that pooled amounts up. But again, before it reaches 165, because that's your I think that's your 5 hours at $33 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got to do something, or else it will be swiped away by the next new GAE approval.
Kathleen, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So what Monica and I did, and I'm sure this is what Rick is going to explain as well, is that I approved them, took them off the wait list one at a time. Monica and I were literally on the phone together, and she would approve one, so it would transfer the money. Then I would go in and transfer the additional hours into that one account, one at a time, so it wouldn't take it out of my pool. So you've got to do them one at a time.
Okay, so how do I get to do that with my QRI specialist?
Kathleen, it's Emily. I'm here. You can just let me know when you want to do that. I'm around.
Okay, because this is, yeah, okay. We might want to let all the other councils know that as well.
That's a great.
That we need to do. We need to do this in partnership with our QRI specialist.
Let's make a special note. Monica, would you mind typing just sort of an announcement in the chat window, and then we can sort of copy it into the PowerPoint, so send it out. Need to do transfers in conjunction with easy if you have specialist on phone with you. Okay, so Monica's working on it. Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll send out with this, if that looks good enough to people. I don't know if we want to wordsmith it to do, let's see, additional hours, mileage, etc. Well, additional hours is what you were talking about, Stacey, right?
So for us at $50 an hour, so that we could get the whole, you know, coaching allotment, it is only transferring half of it because we're at $50 an hour. So as we approve those applications, we transfer the additional 5 hours, for instance, if it's a $500 allotment, one application at a time, so it doesn't get taken out of the pool for the next application. And
right.
so that
makes, yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So like $250 goes into that application, and the other $250 goes into the pool. So as she approved them, and that happened, then I would go in, transfer it out of the pool into that application, and then we could do the next application.
So Stacy,
Yes.
you made sure transfer, so each site, if they get 5 hours, that equals $500. You made sure that Angie Frazier got her $500, that got transferred out of pooled,
Yes,
that whole $500?
yes.
Okay. That's not how we were doing it, so I'm glad to hear that, because and using Angie Frazier as an example today, again, we're going to use $198 for coaching. It's going to cost us $134.64 for us to travel to see her 2 times, which leaves her pool, which leaves her balance in pooled at $167.36. So that needs to be transferred out. And does that amount need to be transferred out and put into pooled amount tracked outside of sugar, or direct? Forget what it was called.
Yeah, pooled, you know, let me go back.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that maybe one of the, you know, since I'm on the sugar advisory group, that one of the things we might be able to look at some point is if there's other line items like this, that there'd be an easier way so it doesn't sweep it out of one place. Like maybe there's an easier way to do some of those things, but that is the way it is being done right now. And I know it's a bit of a pain, but I think once you get it, you'll be all right. So anything you need for mileage, but initially you could just get it approved, get the whole $500 in there, and then that buys you a little time where you can then say, hey, Rick, I need to transfer this much out of here, and, you know, I'm going to put it in the pool, and I need you to put it in the other items that are tracked outside of sugar. So initially just focus on getting the money in their account, the whole allocation.
Okay.
Right, yeah, if you could do, you know, instead of every single one, if we could sort of like all 12, Kathleen, if you could compute the whole thing, then we might be able to streamline the whole process, you know, on you know, what is the total mileage for all 12, you know, what is the total hours that you know, you're
I have all of that. I have all of that on the spreadsheet. I just need for someone to help me put it in, because again, I'm kind of digging my heels in on putting things in sugar at this level, because it's gone back and haunted us in the past.
Sure, totally understand. So we'll help you through that.
Okay. And who is we? Rick and Emily, or?
It would be actually a combination of Emily, Bill, and I. So,
okay, great.
Because I'm going to, pardon me?
I said, great, we could maybe record it, and it could maybe be helpful for other councils. Right. Or maybe,
yeah.
So
if you want to start that by sending that spreadsheet to me as a ticket, but go ahead and CC Emily on it so I can make sure that we can work out a time to, you know, sort of to record this so we can see it. Does that sound okay, Emily and Kathleen?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
I sent the spreadsheet to you via email, Rick. Would you like for me to send it through a help ticket?
Yeah, help ticket is a little bit quicker than the emails for me, because I do get about 100 emails, and you know, Jose is the first line of defense for tickets, but just go ahead and if you put a like Rick in the beginning part, so Jose can just assign it to me directly.
Okay.
Rick, this is Stacy. I've got to run to another conference call, so I just wanted to thank you for your time, and I can follow back up with you on that other item.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
We really appreciate.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We really appreciate you being on the call and our guinea pig.
Always. Always happy to help. Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Are there any questions on this coaching? Any more questions? Okay, Dorothy says no. I'll wait for a few more. Heather says no thank you. No thanks, Kathleen. I love it again when I get feedback from you all. Thank you, Sandra, for your no. Okay, so transfer coaching hours to pooled or to QI. And so I'm going to go into bills so I don't mess people up. I hope I don't mess people up. Here's good old Bill's childcare. Okay, so if I go down, again, I like going to the application to see what's going on with it. And because we're doing so many different tests, here's Bill's RTTQI. Okay, and I'm scrolling down, and here are the requisitions. So here's his external requisition for coaching. Okay, and I'm going to look, we got 11 and a half hours remaining. And I'm going to double check that this is the right funding stream. Okay, so it's going from, so in the actions, if I want to transfer coaching hours to the pool or to QI, it's under, you have to go to the requisition that you're concerned about, and then under actions, you have all these different options. You can transfer additional funds from the pool. You have to read this fairly carefully. Convert dollars into coaching hours. Transfer funds or hours to the pool. So that was one of the questions. Like if we wanted to transfer, let's say one of those 11 and a half hours, we could click transfer funds or hours, and then the hours, we'll do one test for sugar call. And I click save. Okay. And then if you look, there's now 10 and a half hours, and we've transferred $100 worth. So the pooled has gone up by an hour. So that's to go into the pooled. And so now we could, you know, let's say you wanted to use that for another provider. You could use it for mileage. You can use it for any other coaching expenses. So as long as it's in pooled and it's not enough to approve a new provider, then you're okay. But if you do a new provider through GAE, it's going to get swept away. Okay, and then here, the other actions, I'm going to click on. Here's the other one that was the question, convert coaching to QI dollars. So you click on here, and you want to, okay, actually, because I just did it, sometimes I have to refresh the screen. Okay. So under actions, convert dollars into coaching hours or convert coaching into QI dollars. We're going to convert coaching into QI dollars. And we'll do another hour. And we'll do sugar test. And we'll save. Okay, so in this case, if you're not a grant lead, you cannot do that. So only the grant leads, and it gives you an error message that, whoops, conversion from coaching to QI dollars can only be performed by the grant lead. And in this case, it tells you who it is. Bill is the grant lead. So he's the only one that can do it on this particular record. So you would have to have your grant lead do the same steps. Okay. So are there any questions on how you transfer coaching hours either to the pooled or to the QI? Okay, Dorothy says no. Nicole says no. Tip says no. Okay, and Sandra, just like you know, if you do need the help on the, I think on the last sugar call, I created a video that you can look at too. So if you can't find the video, just let us know and we can help you with that again. Okay, and this was Stacy's add dollars to awarded amounts to equal the original amount, original allocations. That is something that we need to do through tickets essentially. So if you need help on changing the awarded amounts, you can transfer normally. So I think Stacy was asking something different than the transfers in and out. Okay, are there, we're just about the end of the time. Are there any final questions or is that enough for everybody for one setting? Okay, Sharon has a question. Can you transfer more hours from the internal pool to a program than you have available? No, you should not transfer. You can get negative coaching requisitions, but you'll get an error message that you'll have to correct. So no, you shouldn't be able to transfer more hours. I mean, you shouldn't do that. It is possible to do that, and then you end up with a negative balance, so be careful. So you should check your pools before you do the transfers. Okay. And Monica, I just want to make sure that you're going to create the email. Is that okay? Okay. Jose had a question. Can any of the actions we covered today correct a negative balance? If on a specific requisition, you can click the action correct negative balance by transferring from the pool. But that's if it's a negative balance on the provider's requisition. So Monica, I just want to make sure I got it right that you're sending out the email rather than me. And I'll forward it for you if you want.
That is correct. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I got everything right. Well, thank you all for being on the call and have a wonderful weekend. You're welcome, Dorothy.
Thanks, Rick. This
Thank
is
you,
Emily.
Monica.
Is there a
Thanks,
sugar advisory group call today?
No, there is not, but there will be one next weekend. Next Friday. I have not sent out the announcement, so it will be at 10:30.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Rick. It's Emily. And just let me know whenever you want to do the Bright Futures. I'm pretty open. So.
Cool. I appreciate it. Thanks, Michelle.